Greetings, comrades! This is the long-awaited 1000 subscriber special. I suppose it's a little overdue. Well, it really is overdue. It's now at 1054, comrades. I wish we could change this to comrades. But at any rate, it's time to have a look. I'm just playing in the background the Stellaris soundtrack. I just thought it might be a bit more interesting to have something happening in the background. So yes, let's have a quick look here, comrades. It's definitely time for that, and I've had a request as well for us to look over the various statistics again, as I've done before. You'll also note I do watch my own videos. Sometimes I'll sit through the whole thing again. I don't know. It's always a metric that I've heard long time ago. If you want to watch your own videos, you know someone else will want to watch it as well. So I find that definitely to be true. And sometimes I really enjoy it and I'll watch several videos. I don't know, it's weird, you know, after you've played it you watch it again, but anyway. So let's have a look at the analytics, comrades. I suppose we'll just go to the YouTube Studio beta here. And I don't think we can see all the same information here. So we might have to switch to the original one. Anyway, it's taking a while, but here we go. Now we'll still see at the top here, congratulations, your channel has been approved for monetization. This happened once before they moved the milestone. I can't remember if it was 100 subscribers or something like that, but then they changed it just thereafter. So I guess now in the eyes of YouTube we're considered a real channel, but there we are. I'm not ready for monetization yet. When you do that, you better know what you're doing. So it's something I can dismiss up here, but I like to leave it as a reminder. So yes, let's go to analytics. And there we just see a very brief overview, so we have to actually look into the various things now. But if we see here in the last 28 days, of course estimated revenue is 0. But there's my phone buzzing. Let me just put that somewhere else where we're not going to hear it. So here, top videos. This is very interesting to me. Of course, again, just in the last month or so. The top 5 here, 4 of them are Kerbal videos, and that is definitely a sign to me to return to KSP. And I think as soon as I'm done with the Star Trek series that I'm doing right now, there should probably be maybe 1 or 2 more episodes. Then I'll make a KSP video again, and then we'll go back to Workers and Resources, or perhaps first the Geopolitical Simulator 4, because that one is quite overdue. So yes, I think we can go to see more, and then we get this separate window here, and I think, let's say, lifetime. Now it's processing here. Right, so there's the whole history of the channel. Now you'll see, comrades, it actually started on September 13, 2014, and I can't actually remember creating that anymore. But we really only started somewhere in 2016. We obviously have a birthday every year, so that is around that time. And thereafter things started to grow. But you can see even just from this little bit of a graphic here, most of the action happened right there at the start of 2018, because I was uploading almost every day for a while. And then of course all the work stuff happened in May, and since then it's been a bit of a slow process, but in time we will recover from that. Then let's just have a look. So this is now the all-time most watched videos. Now I think, let's see what's going to be the most useful thing. Just total views. I'm not sure what it's using to sort right now. Right, so the number 1 video, as I suspected, is the South African DNA ancestry results. People somehow love that, and I saw that a long time ago when I had my own DNA ancestry results made or checked, or whatever is the right word. So I decided, let's do a video about that. The audience for that is totally different than for the gaming, so it's not really going to have an impact either way. But it's something interesting, and there aren't many South Africans sharing their ancestry results, so I thought it's still worthwhile to do. Then the next one is the Kerbal Space Program, How to Build Soyuz. Interesting. And then the Saturn V, of course there were several of those. Making History, New Vostok, I think that was the overview I did of the Making History DLC. How to build the LEM, Apollo CSM. So all of the top ones apart from the Anomaly, we'll ignore the DNA one for now, are all Kerbal videos. Then of course we have the Real Politics one, which was surprisingly successful, if we want to call it that. And that was a fun series. I know Turkey is still an outlying issue. We still have to have a discussion on that at some point, and it is there as well. But then it's Kerbal. Let's see, where did I stop now? There's the Real Politics thing. That was the first episode again of the South African series. But then for the most part, really it is KSP, and there's a few others peppered in between. Real Politics again. Docking. Sputnik 1, that incline docking tutorial I still remember. Gemini Direct Ascent. And it only shows the top 50 results. We can't get more. I can't click on anything there, so I can't actually see the least successful one. Actually, maybe if I just press views again. No, I can't press it again. I want to sort from the least to the most. I think we might have to go back to the original YouTube thing. Let's just have a look if we can. Other features. Creator Studio Classic. Let's go back to that. Thanks for trying the new experience. No, I don't want to leave it. I just want to use it for now. Skip that. I think the new one is better. It's just in those cases we can't see all the information. So here, if I say again top 10 for all time. Now, where is the all time, lifetime? Right, now let's have a look. So obviously this will be the same, but I should be able to swap it around. Or not. Can we see more about this? Browse all content. Let's see what happens. Right, at least this shows something. Looks like we can go all the way down. Again, I can't sort it from least to most. But anyway, we'll scroll all the way down. I want to see what was the least viewed video, just for interest's sake. I never look at this stuff normally. Let's just go all the way down. I guess they don't want you to focus on the least viewed videos. That's why they make it a bit more difficult to see. Right, we somehow stopped there. I think these are all the new Star Trek ones, so they don't really count them yet. The Train Fever number 6, Gambling on Westminster. That was my second series, I think, that I did. That only had 3 lifetime views. Well, and then some of the other ones did a bit better, like The Dawn of a New Century. That was a very fun series to do. Long time ago, but really, it's like yesterday. Let's just go back down again. The Sumaya one here was a private video that I once made for someone. It was a discussion of a politics paper, so that's not really a channel video. Kerbal Space Program, why is that one 7? Is that a private video? Unlisted, that's right, this was my first experimentation on this channel. And then Welcome to the Space Center, that had 7 views and it's all my own. It's also a private video. So then it's the Age of the Automobile again. Channel update and so on. It's mostly the Train Fever ones. Didn't really take off. Some of the Industry Manager ones as well. But again, it's not really about the popularity. I play it because it's fun. This would be interesting, you know, to have a look at these unlisted videos. Now wait, we're not done here. We'll come back to that in a moment. Let's have a look at the top geographies. Right, now is this lifetime again? Sometimes now I just have to get my bearings again. It is lifetime. So let's just make it by views. It's by watch time now. Again, I suppose that is a better way to look at it, because you can have many views that don't actually watch. So USA is number one always, and that has been the case right since the beginning. Then the UK and Germany, Canada, France, Australia, Netherlands, Russia and South Africa. So South Africa is not very high, but honestly, gaming is not really a big thing in this country. It's somehow, yes, and for more specific things, you know, like all the popular multiplayer games and things like that, or the PUBGs and all of that. But for the kind of games that I play, it's not really there. But it's also, of course, not everyone has broadband internet and all of that sort of thing. Data is still very expensive here. Let's just go, there's Mexico as well. Right to the end again. This is something again you can't see with a new YouTube studio, because this is what was so funny for me last time. I remember we looked at this. We had I can't remember what the information said that time. I'll have to rewatch that video. But we have 0 watch time minutes and 0 views from Luxembourg. I guess it shouldn't be on the list then. Not applicable, not applicable. So really the one that we should look at is Moldova. There is 12 views that watched 3 minutes, and the average duration was 15 seconds, and then they said nope, and they left again. Nothing but respect for you, comrades. Always. That's what I always say. That's just an interesting fact to me. Reunion Island is also here. Cambodia, Colombia. I wonder if we can see North Korea somewhere here. That would be interesting. Let's have a search for that. Can we actually look on the map? No North Korean dictators have been watching. That's alright. Let's see, what else can we see here? No one from Namibia, no one from Botswana, no one from Zimbabwe or Mozambique or Madagascar. Can't really select Swaziland there, or Lesotho. But basically in Southern Africa, no one else has watched me, apart from the 11,000 comrades in South Africa. Well, this is the minutes anyway, it's not the views. See, there's nothing coming up. Kenya, nothing. Is there no one else in all of Africa? Wait, we saw something. No, but that's part of Spain. So literally nobody in all of Africa, apart from South Africa, has ever seen a single video of mine. Interesting. Oh well, it's just something to look at. Let's just page back here, and if you see your country, you can tell me. Well, it's just the 2 pages. Yes, only the top 70 results are available. I suppose that kind of makes sense. Well, there's another page. This is the one with Luxembourg, because that's 0 anyway. So we'll just go back again. Israel, Thailand, New Zealand. And then back again. So there's something interesting. Now let's look at something else. What can we see here? I just want to go back to the overview here. Drink some tea as well. Right, let's see. We've had a look now at the top videos and the least top videos. The geographies, the gender again is very interesting. I think this has fluctuated over time. It's 99% male, 1.3% female, but I guess that is mostly the case for games in general. Perhaps not this extreme, but interesting nonetheless. Traffic sources, let's look at that. And is it still lifetime? Yes. Right, suggested videos have really had an impact there. So YouTube has been working in my favor. I know some of the really big YouTubers always complain that they don't show up in suggested videos, but I suppose I'm a lucky one there. Browse features, YouTube search, playlists. Playlists have really helped there, it seems. Channel pages. What does that mean really? From your YouTube channel page. Oh, it's just from the main page there. Playlist page, external, direct to unknown, unknown embedded player. video cards and annotation, end screen. So the end screen I usually try and put now on every video. I have done that for a while. So it helps a little bit, a tiny little bit, but still it's just something useful, I think. Notifications. Unknown, that's the other aliens watching, I suppose. Then let's see, devices. It's interesting I said other aliens as if there's already aliens, but anyway. Computer is 46%, mobile phone 30%, tablet 14%, TV 5.7%, respect comrades, respect. And game console, also respect, 3.8%, but respect for everyone anyway. You see, here's again that giant peak that we had long time ago, last year, just before May. That was the thing. Translations? Original language translated, 3. 1 view. Interesting, how does that work? This isn't the captions, I think. One person watched for 3 minutes translated. What could that be? No further information. Quite recently as well. Not sure exactly what this means, but anyway. Audience retention. Right, are we there? Now I've done something here. We're still on translated. Now let's go back to the overview. No, it still stays on that. Videos. How do I turn it off again? Oh, just pick the top one. Right, go back to... What was I gonna look at? Let's just go to playback locations. I think, is that not the geography? No, this is the YouTube watch page. So 99% has been from the YouTube watch page. 1.1% YouTube other. I don't have any clue what that means. 0.1% embedded in other websites or apps. And 2 views from the YouTube channel page. I guess that's when you just look at the main page and watch there. Then audience retention. That's also a thing, you know, if you really want to go pro, you have to pay attention to this sort of thing. But for fun purposes, I don't really have a look at this too much. Let's just have a look again. Watch time minutes. I think we want to see the duration. Doesn't look like we can sort it by that. Lifetime. What is this? Data is underreported for some dates. December 19. No idea what is going on there, but anyway. Watch time. So really it's the percentage, I suppose. Is there an overall percentage? Yes. So the overall average view duration is 7 minutes and 20 seconds across all the videos. And 15% obviously is the average percentage there. Now that is what it is. If people don't like it, they're welcome to look at other things, but it's just an interesting factoid there, I suppose. Let's see again what was the top thing here? Again, I can't sort it by this, but anyway, just by the minutes. See, it's again the DNA thing, and then lots of Kerbal videos, real politics. This is pretty much like the most watched videos. Let's go to the last page. That's obviously going to be the same that we saw before. Transport fever, death, what? Death of an airline. That was the last one in my first free game of Transport fever. And that was a whole 5 minutes, 2% of the episode. Channel update, there's Alexandria. I don't know if they show the unlisted videos. Here's the one I did for Sumaya. No, it doesn't look like it unless I watched them so many times. I'm just having a look here. I'm not sure, I'm not seeing those Kerbal videos. Maybe it's this one, unlisted, yes. 74 minutes that I've watched my own video. Good grief. Average duration. This will just be me, I think anyway. 10.3 or 10 minutes, 30 seconds. 23% of my own videos that I've watched there. Let's see, what else can we look at? Translations, devices, we have seen. Yes, traffic sources, playback locations, demographics. Right, is this lifetime? It is. So far we have 180,993 views with a watch time of 1.3 million minutes. Good grief. And then here we see again the age groups. Most of it is 25 to 34, although a lot of it is also 18 to 24 and 35 to 44. 13 to 17. We still have some above 65. But this is of course a lifetime again, 0.4%. Very interesting. Now of course this is just the data that YouTube will have. Obviously a lot of people are not signed in and all sorts of things, so this information is not available. What can we see here? 100% female. Watch time. I suppose it's really just the same that we see there. Interesting. Audience retention we've had a look at. YouTube Premium. No idea what that is. It's nothing I'm involved in. What does that mean, YouTube Premium? I don't know what this means. Maybe it means that people who viewed this have YouTube Premium. I don't even know if you can have YouTube Premium. I have no idea what it is. Anyway, I'm very ignorant about some aspects of YouTube. But at any rate, there we see again, most videos are pretty much exactly the same. Impressions and CTR. Try use the other studio. Let's have a look. CTR. Sounds like CPR. Let's go back to the lifetime again. Impressions. No clue what this means. I've never seen this before in my life. Let's have a look. Views 181,000. Impressions and how they lead to watch time. This funnel depicts how many times a thumbnail was shown to viewers on YouTube. Impressions. How frequently those thumbnails resulted in a view. Click-through rate. Oh, that's the CTR. And how those views ultimately led to watch times. Views and watch time did not originate from impressions, are not included in this report. So I guess this has to do with the thumbnail and how it draws people in. So 616,000 have seen thumbnails of some description, and 23.7% of those came from YouTube recommending the content. And then 5.7% of those led to people clicking through. And then views from impressions. What did they say about the views again? How those views led to watch time. I suppose a quick view is just not really counted as a watch time minute there. I'm not sure. 5.5 or almost 6 minutes really. Average view duration. And then that led to 205,000 minutes. Interesting. Now again, I suppose really what this is trying to tell you is look at the way that your thumbnails are drawing people in. And this is something I've noticed many people do, of course. They have these very exaggerated thumbnails and then all sorts of catchphrases and things to draw people in. I don't know. It's not really the kind of thing that I want to do. Although I should really experiment. Traffic source types, I guess this then reflects the information from that. That's again the DNA there. Real politics, playlists, real politics search. It's interesting, you can see the search terms here now. Let's have a look at this. Now what to do with all this information is a little beyond me at the moment. Real politics, KSP Soyuz. So most people who searched for something that is now counted by this metric searched for real politics. Then KSP Soyuz, KSP Making History, Real Politics Game, Kerbal Space Program, Real Politic, KSP Saturn V, Soyuz, KSP Geno 2.0. So again, I suppose the lesson here is to include more of these phrases in the tags, but I do that anyway. Gameplay Simulator 4 that we have to continue. I just want to see if there's anything unusual here. Soviet Republic game. DNA. No, it's all the things I would expect for Stock 1. Buzz Aldrin Space Program Manager. My first love, I suppose. My very first series. Let's close this. Now, have we seen everything here? Now, of course, the menu is different again. Real-time activity. Updating live. Last 48 hours. It's again, except for the Soviet Republic, it's all Kerbal videos that have the most activity in the last 48 hours. Reach viewers. What is all this stuff? This is a click-through thing again. Interest viewers. Build an audience. Not subscribed, 72.6%. But I do now, obviously, in the end screen where I put those icons, I do there obviously have a subscribe icon. But I never say, please subscribe, rate and comment and share and like and favorite, you know, all that stuff that other people like to say. I suppose there's no harm in doing that, there's nothing wrong with that, but I've always held the view that if people want to subscribe, they will. I don't need to tell them to do it. Unknown 4%, that's the aliens, comrades. 4.1% aliens watch me, because you can be subscribed or not subscribed, but what else can you be? So that's the 4% aliens. Well, welcome, comrades from other planets. Top countries, again, we see this is the last month. No subtitles, 98%, and then English subtitles, 2%. That's very interesting. Age, again, we've seen. Subscribers, average views per viewer, 2.6. The average number of views your channel received per viewer in this time period. So I suppose that means then one viewer looked at 2.6 videos. Unique viewers 5.4k. And revenue, oh no, let's be careful of this. Of course there'll be nothing here. Data processing, it will be nothing. Ad types, revenue sources, yes. You see here you can be running into trouble if you use copyrighted music or anything. The only time we've ever had an issue in terms of that, though, because I am usually very careful about that sort of thing, was with the Tropico 5 soundtrack that we used for the, well, there I should say I should take the responsibility for that one, for the Geopolitical Simulator 4, but that didn't really lead to anything, I think. Let's just have a look. There, ineligible. All that means then is obviously I can't monetize that video because it's got this claim on it, and I'm not going to dispute that claim because that is obviously a legitimate claim. And yes, I'm not sure if there's ads on that video. It just says the copyright owner is allowing its use by showing ads on this video, so there might be ads on that one, but those are not my ads. but that's not a problem. I did put the music on there. But the other Tropicos seem to be fine. It's just really Tropico 5 that's the issue. So let's go to... what do I want to have a look at now? I want to go to those unlisted videos, but let me have some more tea. I think those Star Trek videos have taken a toll on me in the last few days, because those are some really long videos and my voice hasn't totally recovered from that. But the thing is, I enjoy them, so I really don't even notice it, and then when I'm finished I'm just without a voice. Not really, but it's leading to that. To go to the very beginning. Now this might take a while, there's no button to go all the way back. This is our history together, comrades. Oh yes, the transport fever. This is something that we should have a look at as well. Because I've never really considered things that are still ongoing to be closed. But I think we should call a close to some of these still open-ended series. Let's just have a look at this. I have to just go back now. Alright, now obviously Kerbal continues, all is fine there. Real Politics, the USA scenario thing. I think I might try one more video there. Because the real problem with that was trying to get the approval from the United Nations to attack somebody, Iraq I think. So we can try that because it will run out anyway in a few years. I remember that very clearly. So that one is still open-ended then. There was this other KSP series that I did that I actually started with before I did the making history ones. And that was like doing various historical missions, and the last one I think was Luna 9. I'll leave that open because who knows when the fever might grip me, and I'll continue with that, but for now we can just put it on hold. Real Politics Turkey is the one thing, the one pain in my heart, if we want to say that, because there's still going to be several videos in order to wrap that up properly. But the thing is, again, we have the same problem of not ever being able to incorporate captured territories into our country because of the old version of the game. I'm not sure if I do something there. Actually, I think I will do something there, even if it's just one more video to say this is the end of the series now. We should do that. There shouldn't just be these open-ended things drifting around. Then we can start something one day with the new DLC that is now not even new anymore. Let's just go through them. City-State, I think we can call to a close because that has changed so much. That was very early when the game was just released. So things really have changed a lot, and I haven't actually played the game since then. But so many new features were added, I'm aware of those. So if we do go back to that, I'll start over so we can call that one to an end. Subnautica is another thing I want to go back to sometime. Again, it's going to be a long gap between the last one here, number 17. That was already more than a year ago. But I want to finish that series before the Subnautica Below Zero comes out, because I'd like to play that at some point as well. And I do have that game, but obviously they're still very busy developing it, so we have to come back to that one. Sol Zero did come to an end, I think. I can't remember if that was just a 2-series or 2-episode thing. I think so, but at any rate that is ended now. There's something that was corrupted, so I can delete that. That sometimes happens with my uploads, but it was just followed by the uncorrupted one. That's why the order is changed here, 22, 23, 21. There's the last milestone, can you believe it? 200 comrades, now it's 1,050 something comrades. There was the DLC news that we've never even played yet. Let's go back further. Right, so let's continue. There's some more Subnautica. And Happy New Year. Oh yes, that was when my mother died. I remember that one. Cold Waters, we might do another single mission at some point. That was a lot of fun. Still have to continue with the Transport Fever campaigns. That is not closed yet, comrades. Then it's really just this Oriental Empires. We can call that to a close right now because I don't even remember how to play that. I might return to it one day, but it's not going to be a continuation of this. Or maybe it will, I'm not sure. I don't even know if the save game will still work. But I don't know if that game has really changed that much because I never really see updates for it coming through. So, I don't know. We'll just put that on the way back burner with a possible closure of that. And there's the failed race into space thing that we didn't make. Then there's the Skylines Gibraltar. I think, good grief, I probably will call that to an end because that game has also changed so much. So many things there, DLC and all of that. It's really not even going to look the same. I was also using quite a few mods there that I'm sure don't even work anymore. So if we do go back to City Skylines, it will be something new. These sort of things, they do bother me because I always think about them. I should come back to them, but I don't know. There was the race for the White House where I couldn't get elected. Stable Orbit, we can maybe one day do another 1 or 2 episodes since they have fully released the game now. Oh, the geography quiz, that was fun. Maybe I'll do something like that again. What else can we see here? Revisiting Morrowind, my 12-year-old save game. Since that day I've never looked at it again, but that was interesting. Just trying to see if anything catches my eye as we go all the way back. Transport Fever. There was the Train Fever game that didn't do so well. New challenge in the Old West. So I think before that we'll see Buzz Aldrin. No, it's first the Industry Manager. That was just an experiment for 7 episodes. And that was the first series, Buzz Aldrin Space Program Manager with the US. And I did actually succeed in landing on the moon before the deadline of 1970 on... I still think it was quite an easy difficulty, but that game is not easy at all. And based on that, actually I need to now go back to the channel banner. That's why I put the medal on the channel banner. Before that we didn't have that. So I'll go back to that in just a moment. But let me just have a look here. So the first one was Introduction and Setup to a New Kerbal Space Program Let's Play. And this was back in 2014. Good grief. You see, that is when I started this channel and I was already thinking about making a KSP channel. Or at least many KSP videos. Then I did another one on the same day. That was supposed to be the first episode, Welcome to the Space Center. Then a few days later I did the second episode, Lighting the Fire. That sounds dramatic. There's another first episode sometime later. Then I think I started over, and that was supposed to be called On a Wing and a Prayer. And then there was another one, September 10. Oh, that was 2 years later, good grief, that I did another KSP that I wanted to try again making an actual active channel. And it didn't take off again. I was not feeling it really. I was very unsure about the whole thing. But then the next day, or no, 5 days later, I decided, let's now make a serious effort to try making a channel. and I did the welcome because I thought that is the proper way to start the channel. And then the next day I started with the Buzz Aldrin Space Program Manager, because at that point I was too unsure about KSP and messing around with it the whole time. But we can actually have a look at that. You know, comrades, I might even make these videos public one day. I'm not too sure about that, but let's just go to the first one. I just want to stop the soundtrack of Stellaris there in the background. Let's have a look at this thing. Oh, it's going to be the small screen now. How do I see it in a full screen? Obviously, you click there. So I think it was just a really terrible resolution as well. I wasn't obviously sure what I was doing, so there's no HD here. Oh well. Click play. Let's see what happens. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this very first episode in this brand new Let's Play. My name is Admiral Andre, and I bid you welcome to one of my, no, I should indeed say my very favorite game of all time, which is of course Kerbal Space Program. Let me just stop myself right there. Now, first thing you'll notice is my voice is different, and I've also noticed this. It's quite obvious if I go back even earlier, because to be honest, before this, let's just leave this again. Let's go back to the menu. I'll return to this in a moment, but it's so hilarious to me. Let's just go back. So this was 2014. Believe it or not, before then I had another channel that I was actually uploading videos to, and I had a few subscribers on that channel. And that was called the Zergian Embassy. It doesn't exist anymore, so the channel doesn't even exist, but I also deleted all the videos on there, but I still have some of them on my hard drive. And there, it was interesting because now my history is basically back in 2010 when I finished my master's degree. I got a scholarship to go to Australia to do a PhD there. And that was in Canberra at the Australian National University. And I lived there for 2.5 years before I came back in 2012, middle of 2012, to South Africa. And after that time, my voice was obviously different. It wasn't really an Australian accent though. That's the very interesting thing. It was such a weird thing, you know. One of the things I did as part of my PhD back then, and I'd never completed that PhD, and there's a whole lot of reasons for that, and that's why I'm doing another one now. But this is at the University of Cape Town. While I was doing that PhD in Australia, I went on like a research trip, and that was to New Zealand, to the US, and to the UK. And when I was in New Zealand for a few days back in 2011, and that was the time of the Rugby World Cup there as well. I can let the music play in the meantime. Not that loud. Just something in the background. Anyway, while I was there, the World Cup was going on, and I was staying in a hostel. A terrible, terrible hostel I'll never return to in my life as long as I live. But there were many other South Africans staying there at the time. And not one of them thought I was a South African. Not one of them. Even, you know, other people, once I told them, other South Africans, I am South African, they said, no, I sounded German, or I sounded something else. I don't even remember, but they all said I sounded quite different. And you can hear my accent is very strange, the way that I speak there after I came back. But over time, of course, I've been more South Africanized again, especially the kind of Cape accent that I do have. But yes, it's an interesting thing. I'll pause this again. Let's go on with this. So that was an interesting aside. But the whole idea that I had for this setup, now I just have to remember, was this the one with the randomizer? I think it was actually. I can just go back. Something very weird is happening here with the menu. But the thing was, back in the day, there was a mod for KSP called the Planet Randomizer, and that mod doesn't exist anymore. But it only existed for a short time, and I think it was valid for like 1 or 2 versions of KSP. And back in the day, it was obviously constantly updated, and so it fell out of use very quickly. But I decided this was now an interesting thing to make a series about because no one else was doing it. And then obviously my KSP solar system would look different compared to everyone else's because it was randomized. And then this is now me having like a miniature introduction to visitors to the Space Center where I introduce them to our new efforts to go into space. So it was very much a role-play thing, and I still love the whole role-playing thing as you see with the new Star Trek episodes. But, so this was evidence of that. It's just a pity I can't do anything in terms of the quality here. There's no other way to see this video. Let's just close here because it's not going to show in my channel videos. Or will it? Let's try. I want to see this. It's a very strange 1000 subscribers special, but it is what it is, as everything is. So let's actually now, here I can put it oldest. Yes, yes, yes. Maybe this will look better. Now we actually have an option, but it's still 480p, so obviously it's not going to be that great. But let's listen to this for a little while. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this very first episode in this brand new Let's Play. My name is Admiral Andre, and I bid you welcome to one of my, no, I should indeed say my very favorite game of all time, which is of course Kerbal Space Program. Now, if you are here watching this video, then I assume that you are also a fan of Kerbal Space Program, and I certainly welcome you on this journey, and I hope that we will have some very interesting and enjoyable adventures and experiences along the way. The very first point that I'll make now is that this won't be an actual Let's Play, I should say. I'm only starting in the next video. This one is the setup for this, I guess you could call it the series. So this is just to provide you some information and to tell you my intentions, and basically then we'll start properly in the next one. Now the very first point that I'll make along this line is that, of course, you know this is Kerbin, but this is not the normal or standard Kerbin, as you can see here in the planet physical characteristics. The first one is of course the gravity, which is now 0.98, and the rotation period, which is now only 3 hours and 22 minutes. Now this is of course due to the planet randomizer mod. I'll include all the details of the mods that I include here in the description to this video below, and I certainly would suggest that you check them out, and perhaps you will also enjoy them if you don't already. Now the Planet Randomizer mod I think is one of the best ones out there, even though it is still a very early work in progress and there are some technical problems, if I can call them that. But I believe this increases the replayability of KSP to a very, very large extent, and it would be a great goal of mine or great desire of mine to see this in the final version of KSP built into the game. Now, as you see here, Ike is our moon, and we only have one moon, and we are ourselves a moon of Joule, and the Joule system is completely rearranged, with Tylo now being the innermost moon, and the rest of the solar system is completely rearranged as well, with Duna on the outside here. Now, what the Planet Randomizer mod does is it changes the characteristics such as the orbit, the rotation, the mass, or at least I shall say the gravity of the planet, its position, what moons it has, all of those kinds of things, but within a certain range. So you won't ever have Kerbin the size of Joule, or Joule the size of Kerbin, but there's still a very wide range of possibilities. Now, I'll also say that the mods that I'll use in this Let's Play, I think I'll stop myself there, comrades. If there's a demand, I will make these videos public and you can watch them at your leisure. But that shows you again two things, how my voice has changed. And the other thing is that was a really great mod idea. And I wish there's another alternative of that. And if someone knows about it, you can let me know. Because that was a very interesting thing that changed the whole dynamic of the KSP experience. And that's also why I thought it would have been a great idea to have it in the final version or the 1.0 release of KSP. So you can just click a button if you don't want the standard KSP solar system, and you will have a totally different experience. So, but anyway, there were some bugs with that. If you put something in orbit, it would sometimes disappear or fly off in a random direction, stuff like that. So it wasn't really practical. But let's go back again. Then after that, let's just see. Now, of course, it's the, oh dear, no, I don't even need to do this. It's from the top. Then there was the welcome to the Space Center. This was now the first full episode. And here I was very much role-playing. The first one I was not doing it so much. Let's just have a minute or two of that. Just for the sake. And this was 720p for what it's worth. You see DS9 in the bottom here because I've been watching some Star Trek clips lately.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? I trust you've all taken your seats and that you are ready. The presentation will now begin. Of course, as you know by now, I am Admiral Andre, the director of this brand new Space Center, and I have the great pleasure and privilege to welcome you here today. Of course, I know many of you have travelled from far all over Kerbin to be here today, and I must express to you my appreciation for the support that you have shown to this new space program, and of course those of you who are donors to the Space Center's construction. I wish to thank you, and my team also wishes to express their sincere gratitude for all the support you have given so that this project can get off the ground, so to speak. Now today here, now that you have taken your seats, I can formally welcome you to the first opening of this Stellar Cartography Center in the tracking station at our Space Center, and I am going to take you on a short sample tour so that you can see the kinds of technology that we are working with here and the kinds of directions that we will take in the future with this program.
Anyway, there we go. So I had a tour bus built, and I would take the viewer, now you're one of the Kerbals, on this tour and all sorts of things. But anyway, again, that didn't quite work out. And then there was the first time we now built a very primitive rocket, and then this thumbnail is just incorrect. This was now another effort. I'm not sure why it is another episode 1 there. Then there's another Kerbal Space Program effort. But anyway, there we go. Then the other thing I wanted to show you was, just here again, YouTube saying congratulations. This is just the Admiral Andre Gmail address. So they were just saying Admiral Andre has been accepted into the YouTube Partner Program and is now able to monetize. And there was another one. Oh yes, this was now the full. This is bananas, 1,000 subscribers. Admiral Andre, we always knew this day would come, and we hope you did too. You're doing amazing work, and we couldn't be happier for you. Now go share this. So yes, it's of course just a generic thing they send out, but I imagine that it's now YouTube personally congratulating me and us. That's why I'm showing it. So yes, that's one thing. The reason I have the Vatican City up here and the list of countries and dependencies by population is because we are now past the population of the smallest country in the world. Now the figures will vary, but it's about 800 to 1,000. So we are now at least more populous than the Vatican City, but not as populous as Tokelau. But that is not a full country. So I suppose then the next target would be 10,200, but that's light years away. So yes, also the Pecan Islands and the Cocos-Keeling Islands of Australia. So there was an interesting thing I was thinking about, so I thought I would share that. The other thing I want to share with you is some of these little previews of the original channel that I had a long time ago. That's what subscriber specials are for, I think. Just to share some fun things like that. Now, this is my external hard drive, so I keep some stuff on here, and some of this is now the same again. Actually, I could have just shown you this, but I wanted to show you the videos on the channel. But this is also some of those KSP episodes that I didn't upload or never released. But if we have a look here, some of the things that I did on that ancient channel was I did a... now what is this? Total War... What's the game called? I don't even remember. Empire. Something Empire. Anyway, I did some episodes of that, but only a few survived after I deleted it from the channel. But let's take a listen to one of those. Now, of course, it's downloading it, I assume. There.
Comrades, let us not turn to lengthy introductions in this dark hour, but rather turn our attention to the matters at hand. We here regard the great city of St. Petersburg, which belongs, of course, rightly to us. Previously, the rebels here have seized control of the city, and now we have the choice here to attack them either manually or with the aid of the computer, who is sure to run us into the ground if given the chance. So I shall...
So anyway, there again you hear this voice that I had. Well, things change, right? What else do I have here? So that was one series that I was doing. I never got much further than, I think, episode 11. Not sure. Then, what else was there? Just trying to think what was an actual series and what was just an experiment. Star Trek Legacy I did make several recordings of, but that was not really for a channel. Let's just see if it opens up. So yes, it's just me playing a battle and seeing what happens. Mostly dying horribly. What else was there? I'm sure there was another series. Oh yes, I once tried a Crusader Kings series, but I never got further than the first episode. Let's have a look at that.
Comrades,
Comrades,
I greet you again, though this time from a different world. It occurred to me that I require a bit of variety in any Let's Play that I make.
That's still true.
Because after a while with the same Let's Play it becomes a bit boring, so it's good to shake things up and try some other ones as well. So the Empire Total War and the Warlock Master of the Arcane games that I'm busy with are still ongoing. I'm just taking a short break from them and looking now at something different, and then when I'm a bit tired of this, I'll jump back to the others and so on. And that.
Anyway, one thing that does remain consistent is the Comrades thing at the beginning, and of course the very super long videos. This was another hour-long video. And I went through the whole detail. What does this do? How does this game work? All sorts of things like that.
Provides us a normal level of taxation, the church make, and the rest of it is your more, the intrigue and the spying, and the plot is still very good. And obviously, then they have large holdings and many people who work.
At any rate, that's an interesting journey down memory lane. So there I also said what I was doing was the Empire Total War. That's, of course, the name of that game. And the other thing was the Warlock Master of the Arcane, and those I put in this folder. Now again, I don't have all the episodes, or do I? I think this is the only one that I still have all the episodes for. But again, I didn't get further than episode number 12.
Comrades, I greet you again as we stare at our magnificent capital city of Port Sovereign. That, of course, means it is again time for another phase in our great quest here as the Beast People of Ardania. and I am very much looking forward to this because so much of the world still lies open to us and ready to be conquered and captured for our great empire.
You know,
Now,
maybe it was all the Churchill speeches that I was listening to for those years, especially starting in my masters, when I was doing the masters back in 2007 to 2010. That time, again, many challenges happened and that sort of thing, as they always tend to do. So I used to play lots and lots of speeches by Winston Churchill as a motivation for myself. Here, deep in the night, 2 a.m. and all that, I was playing "We Shall Never Surrender," all sorts of things like that. And I obviously did the same during the PhD there in Australia. So maybe some of that rubbed off. You can kind of hear it. It's a kind of pretentious way of speaking, I know, but I'm glad I don't do it like that anymore. But that was kind of a natural thing for me at the time. It's so weird how things change. Anyway,
I am very grateful for. At the moment, our mana production surplus per turn is 33.2, so it's alien world. He wants, he will offer us more gold. Helia offered us 180, and he will offer us 230. With this black mage here, he's killing all of the goblin spearmen in Ratavan.
At any rate, there's that. So that's another glimpse into a history that happened, but has no further trace of it ever happening. Yeah, so there were 12 episodes of that. Is there anything else here that I can show? Something interesting, perhaps? Episode 3. I also did a ruse episode once and I lost horribly.
Comrades, rally to me, for we are at war.
Yes, we
are
are
very
at
quick,
war.
paced game. A good setting for us.
You see, that's also the thing. Like I said there, it's a quick-paced game, and my style is not quick-paced at all. So I was talking more than paying attention to anything, and then
army left to speak of.
Losing
But
horribly.
the game
as
does
you see
continue
there.
until the last unit is dead, so they will have to come and chase us down it at the moment. So let us get this little Anson out of the way. I'm saying I'm getting out of here now.
Indeed. So yes, that was another thing that I did, and I guess if there's any message or lesson in all of this, comrades, it is if you ever wanted to start a channel on YouTube, but you thought, no, it's not quite working, or you haven't found your voice yet, as it were. In this case, it's quite literally the case. Don't give up. Keep trying, because, it takes some time. Very few people, I think, are lucky in the sense that they start and then they just keep going. Oftentimes you'll find that it's not working and then you stop and then you try a different approach and things like that. So just keep at it. That's all that I can say. Now, is there anything else that I wanted to show or discuss or talk about or anything like that? I think there is one more thing. Back at the channel page, right here, this has changed. There was a message to that effect, but it wasn't in the email there. It said, and I was waiting for this, I was hoping for this day, because I saw the larger channels, they have a community tab, and for us it was still the discussion tab. But this changes as soon as you get 1,000 subscribers. It obviously takes a few days after that to actually be implemented. But this now allows me to post like news or updates and things. I can place polls here, I can put pictures here, I can link things and all sorts of stuff like that. So this is something I'm going to be doing now a lot more. I think because especially Twitter has never really taken off for me, but again, there's no real need for me to tweet a lot. I guess it's not something, I guess it's something I can improve on. But I can also post things here in polls. If you see here is a poll, then here is a poll. Don't know where I was going with that. It's just, I'll put it here if there's ever the need for something like that. Now here's the banner. So this is the thing I just started with. We still have this starting banner. But this was the medal that I put on here after finishing that very first series of Buzz Aldrin's Space Program Manager. This is something that they show you if you win the game, so to speak. So I pasted it in here. One thing I'd still like to do, but again, I'm totally clueless about that, is do like a total redesign of the channel art and even the icon here. It's still my mug there looking off into the distance. So, I don't know, something different, but I don't even know what I would do. Obviously, I'd need to get somebody to do that. I don't fare well in the arts, so to speak. But surely the channel art has to capture something of the nature or character of the channel. So I don't even know what to put there. Maybe people can leave me suggestions and it's something I can keep in mind for the eventual overhaul of the channel. Yes, that's about it, comrades. I don't know if there's much more to say. Playlists, channels... These are just subscriptions and recommended channels. I can update that again in time. About. This was just right at the beginning, just saying this channel focuses on variety of games and things like that. But yeah, you can also see when I joined this or created this channel. Yeah, so that was an interesting trip down memory lane. Have a fantastic day, comrades. But before I leave, I just want to say thank you for your support. That is something that has heartened me on this journey. And that is not an understatement. Because again, at the very start, I still remember how long it takes just to get to 10 subscribers or 100 subscribers and so on. But that's again where it comes to persevering. But my very first subscriber was a friend of mine, and just getting that was already a thing, and then moving on from that. So I just want to say again, thank you. You know, I don't want to make a big mushy speech here, but I do appreciate it, and we are in this together. So see you next time, comrades. It will be again in Star Trek, but I think I'm going to take a day just to recover my voice. And then I will have another KSP episode and then another Geopolitical Simulator 4 episode. And then back to workers and resources. Have a fantastic week and onwards and upwards, comrades. We shall prevail. Don't worry, I won't start talking like that again.